Alright, obviously, I don't need to introduce you to Reddit. You know what Reddit is. It's where buttholes try to convince you that they're not buttholes, and where people write about the time they did something so stupid you can't even imagine how they ended up in that situation. So, I decided today we would try rewriting some movie plots as Reddit posts. I thought it might be funny. If you want to try to guess the movie, skip to this time here. If you don't want to guess the movie, the first one's going to be Barbie, and then we'll see the second one when we get to it. Alright, so our first post for today, posted by Beach Not Lifeguard 3 months ago. Now I know it's 3 months ago, it's because I had this idea a long time ago. I just forgot to record it. Am I the asshole for introducing patriarchy to my small women-ruled society? Hi, I, 54 male, come from a very small land on a remote island. In fact, the land is so remote that most people think it's fictional. Since we are so remote, our society has developed very differently from the rest of the world. To be specific, women, ugh, make all the decisions and basically rule the world. They get to live in dream houses, which, in my opinion, are way worse than Mojo Dojo Casa houses, while we men are neglected. This story starts when I, the alpha male, hit on the most popular woman, we'll call her B for the sake of the story, 56 female. B rejects me, which makes no sense because I am just so amazing and so good at beach. I get so jealous whenever B interacts with any of the other males, who are almost exactly like me, but worse. This makes me angry and fills me with resentment towards B, which is all her fault because it's unfair that she gets to choose to not be in love with me. My delicate ego must be protected. A little later, B goes on a trip to America. Since I can't take a hint and must force myself onto B until she loves me, I decide to enter her car without her knowing and going with her. She freaked out when she found me, which made no sense because she should take it as a compliment that I'm willing to go so far for her. Long story short, we made it to LA, where we split off into our own separate adventures. I stumble into Century City, where I learn about horses, and that it is actually the men that rule the world, through something called patriarchy. I don't really understand it, but the thought of horses and finally being respected by women, but mostly horses, really appealed to me. I knew the other men back home would love this system as well, so I decided to go back and introduce it to them. I made the long journey back home alone, and told all the men that we should be in charge. They were all on board. When we introduced it to the women, they were so happy to take a break that it was almost like mind control, and overnight the whole societal structure was changed, and we men were in charge. I was so happy to be respected and having the ability to force all the women to be attentive to me. When B returned, she was not happy at all. I do not understand why. I made everything so much better. Like, we have mini fridges and horses now. Why would we ever go back? She went on this whole rant, blah, 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 and how I can't just take her stuff and force women into labor. I basically shut her up and told her that she could either be my long-term, long-distance, low-commitment casual girlfriend or leave. She left, which was very hurtful, and I can't believe she still rejected me after all this. She's now lying on the floor, face down, crying, and I feel just a little bad. So Reddit, am I the butthole for introducing the patriarchy to my society? I don't think so, since it was basically B's fault for rejecting me, which started all this. Alright, if you've seen the movie, you definitely know what this is from, but I'll give you like 2 seconds. The only comment I got was, I was supposed to flare it with fiction. And it's Barbie, obviously. Our writer is Ken, and B is Barbie. That one was pretty easy. The second one might be a little harder. If you want to guess, skip to the time on the screen. If you don't want to, the movie's going to be Monsters, Inc. Alright, on to the second post. Today, I forked up by ruining my best friend's date. I, 30 male, approximately, screwed up today by ruining my best friend's date. We'll call him Mitch, and he's also approximately 30 male. Mitch and I have been friends since we were both freshmen in university. Since then, we have been inseparable. We even work together and are the best performing team at our company. Mitch and I work at the largest power plant in our city. We harvest power from highly radioactive sources that can essentially kill you with just one touch. As a result, the power plant has many safety measures in place to prevent these sources from getting out. With all the context out of the way, let's get to the screw-up. Mitch had a date planned today with his girlfriend, Schmoopsy. Mitch and Schmoopsy have been planning this date for a while. as they had managed to get reservations to a very expensive sushi restaurant, and it was her birthday. We were at work, as normal, and when the day ended, Mitch left to go on his date. I stayed at work for a while, as I wanted to get my numbers up a bit before the final reviews came out. I went to Harvest Power as normal, and when I was done, I cleaned everything up. Or at least I thought I did. I don't know how, but I managed to get some of the radioactive source on my back. I continued getting ready to leave, blissfully unaware of the toxic monster that was on my back, until I suddenly found it. It was terrifying. Imagine a grown, 7-foot, 8-inch male, running around away from a speck that isn't even quarter his size. I was screaming and wailing as I ran all over the bathroom. I didn't know what to do, as the source storage area had been locked down for the night. I needed to get rid of the source, but I couldn't come up with a safe way to do it. That's when I had the brilliant idea to take the source to Mitch. Mitch is the smartest guy I know. Surely he'll have a solution. I packed the source as safely as I could, and went to the sushi place to ask Mitch for help. I tried to be as discreet as possible when asking Mitch for help, but he immediately panicked when he saw the source. He started yelling at me for my stupidity, and in the heat of the argument, the source ended up in the middle of the restaurant. The restaurant immediately exploded into chaos. Everyone knows about the power plant and the source, so all the customers knew the danger they were in. They started running out, trying to get away from the source as quickly as possible. The SDA, Source Detection Agency, were called, and the whole area was placed under quarantine. Mitch and I managed to get away with the source, but Schmoopsy was taken to be decontaminated. She was so angry as she was being dragged away that I was scared her hair might attack us. I do not know how to get Mitch to forgive me. I still need to find a way to deal with this source. I'm definitely getting fired. TLDR, I brought a radioactive source from work to my best friend's date, resulting in the restaurant getting shut down. Now, the only reason you wouldn't get this is if you haven't seen it in a while, but I think it's pretty obvious. I think we've all seen this movie, and it's Monsters, Inc. Here's our writer, Sully. Here's Mitch, a.k.a. Mike Wazowski. There's Schmoopsy. Celia is her name, I think. And obviously, our source is cute little old Boo. Hopefully you enjoyed those stories. I thought they were quite funny. Let me know what other stories you'd like me to rewrite as Reddit posts, or if you have any other ideas. And thanks for watching.